Okay, good evening. We are back from our Board of Education retreat and goal setting session. We are moving on the agenda into communications. Do you have any communications?
Nothing to report.
Okay, I don't have anything. Next, board committee and liaison reports. I will start with Crystal.
Nothing to report.
Okay, Danielle.
Yes, for community relations, we did not have a meeting last month, and we were tentatively going to be having a meeting tomorrow, but we're just going to be rescheduling because it's not working out the date. So it will come as soon as I know the date. It will go out. The agenda will go out. So once that's finalized, you'll know. As for the PTO, I do want to say that there is officially a new president and vice president. So our new president of the PTO is going to be Tina Fortino, and the vice president is Ashley Yospin. So I'm excited to be working with them, getting more information out. I know that the next fundraiser at this point will be August 21st, and it's going to be for the locker ladders, and more information will come out for that.
Got it. Any questions for Danielle? Okay, Tom.
Nothing to report.
Okay, Justin.
Nothing to report.
Okay, Melissa.
Yes, we had our policy committee. We had our policy committee meeting on June 11th, and we went through a ton of policies. You'll see that here. We're having another meeting tomorrow night, and there's a lot of policies that we're reviewing because in between since the last meeting, the New Jersey School Board Association came out with some major updates as a result of some changes in regulations. So we are set to review, I think, 12 policies tomorrow night. And you're going to see it, but we are on track. We've reviewed over 40 policies this year so far. And our goal at the end of each year is 94, and we're on track for that. We're on track for 100.
Nice. Any questions for Melissa?
Kudos.
Yes, congrats. Katie.
Yes, the Buildings and Grounds Committee had a meeting on June 25th. In attendance with myself, Mr. Alexis, Tom, Robin, Frank, and Adele, and Kim, were you? I have you listed as here, but I don't think you were at the meeting.
I can't remember,
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't think you were.
Sorry.
So, in that discussion, we went over the school dude. That is the tracking, the tracking process that we have, and Moises is trained, and we'll be keeping up with that. To what Frank had been doing to maintain the process going forward. The district-wide HVAC, the updates are ongoing and on target for September. The sale for the dump truck, the auction's going to be on Gov Deals. They were looking at comps, and they are selling it as is. In terms of our integrated pest management, we had just routine service calls, etc. We did renew the contract with Safe Schools. They're doing a great job, and we were given a clean audit by the health department in that space. So we're very happy with them. In terms of our capital improvement and summer projects, the JCP&L HVAC direct install, they started rooftop unit installs early, and it's going faster than expected and on target for September. Gillette School, the fire and security alarm installation is moving along quickly. There were stage curtains have been replaced, and instead of having a semi-regular fire treatment, I think it's every couple of years, they would treat it with a fire prevention spray or whatever. They're now they're not going to be treated. It's actually impregnated in the curtains that were installed, so that'll save us money long term. Also, some pumps have been replaced with double pumps for latency, and they will have, like, they're scheduled to go off at different times, so that, like, at any given time, like, the latency situation will be, we know it's working, because it's not just only going to be turned on if it's not working. And also, at Millington School, the library, the old furniture has all been taken out and discarded. New furniture is on order, and when they pulled out the old furniture, last year we had put in new flooring, and so where the old furniture was, there was no flooring, so they have backfill that all in, so that's all ready. And again, they are on target for September. In the parent car pickup area, 2 new doors have been ordered, and they have been measured, and they're replacing damaged doors. And we are replacing card access, so there'll be improved safety and accessibility there. At Central, the food service updates, the room in Central is gutted, painted, the floors are filled in, and electrical to accommodate heater and refrigerator racks has been installed and updated, and a custodial closet has been moved as well, to be prepared for whatever food service we have next year. Room 34 that is being renovated is going to become the new STEAM lab. It's larger and has a more appropriate water fixture, sink, and there's more space and flexibility for that classroom. And since we have a new teacher starting and getting new equipment and things in there, it's a really nice, clean slate to start from. And the existing STEAM lab will now become our flexible learning space. What else? We've also replaced 2 sets of doors to the stairwell. Long term, we need to replace 4 more sets of 2 doors, and so we suggest that will be done like two sets per year for the next 2 years. Also, the area behind the school, there's like kind of a cut-in area behind where the new gym is. That they power wash that area, clean that whole area up, and also in terms of the stage area, we also replaced the curtains for that stage, and they also added lighting in front of the stage. They put in 2 10-foot lighting trusses, and they started out going from 2 lights to 4 to increase the light of the stage area, but there's actually room on those trusses that they ultimately can go up to 8 if we choose to, if we have the budget for it in the future. So it'll really improve the lighting in our stage area. So, we've done a lot of progress in that area. We've replaced a lot of the lighting, the curtains, the rigging for the curtains I think were fixed last year, and I know the Ed Foundation has also donated a spotlight and last year, and so our stage area is really getting really nice now, and I think that's exciting for the kids. Also, there's the sewer situation at Central. We're still monitoring issues, but it's confirmed that the current problem is user error. So obviously the kids and staff need to be mindful of what's going down, but so far that's cleaned up as well. In terms of ROD grants, the HVAC equipment priority list has been created, and we're preparing everything for the vendors as early as possible, so we get our orders in before like larger ones get placed, because we don't want them to take from our order to fill in someone else's. So the sooner we get everything in, the safer we are to get what we need when we need it. And then finally, on the budget, the new facilities manager candidate was identified and is on tonight's agenda. So we look forward to seeing it.
Okay. Any questions for Katie? No? Okay. Okay, I'm going to report on behalf of governance. We met on June 18th. It was myself and Karen and Mr. Alexis. Basically, we were just discussing the retreat that we just did earlier this evening, and how that was going to be organized, and we just went through that process. But we do want to send out a survey to everyone to get some feedback on the process and any thoughts. And then we also just briefly discussed the conference presentation that Mr. Alexis, myself, and Karen will be doing at School Boards Association conference in October. That was it for governance. Any questions for governance? No? Okay. So finance met on July 3rd. It was Karen, myself, Mr. Alexis, and Ms. Bomer. I wonder, Robin, how much of this you're going to review and how much I should review?
Up to you. I can take it all if you'd like.
I think that probably, because I kind of feel like I'm stealing your thunder, and there's a lot of things on here that you could just go through. So I'm going to let Robin go through that. But we did meet on July 3rd, and you're going to see a lot of those items that Robin's going to describe on this agenda. And our next meeting for finance is July 31st, and the next meeting for governance is July 16th. So from there, I'm going to go to superintendent's report.
All right, great, thank you. So I'm pleased to report we're making progress, as Katie explained, with our move to the lunch program for September. There are 2 resolutions on the agenda this evening, but I'll let Robin mention those in her report. I do want to thank the PTO again for their flexibility and understanding as we transition to the new program and away from food days. You'll note on the agenda that we've been working diligently to fill vacant positions. Several are leave replacements for next year. We're making progress, and we'll continue those efforts this month because we have some more vacancies to fill. But I am pleased, as Katie said, I'm pleased to report that Mark Mandursky accepted our offer to become our next facilities manager. He comes highly recommended, and we believe he'll be a great fit. We're excited to have him join us later this month. In the meantime, Mark Brasina will return as a consultant in the meantime to help us this summer. And I think that's it for me tonight. I'll turn it over to Mrs. Bomer.
Great, thank you. So for the finance agenda, we went over several things. I think the most important, or the one that you're going to be most interested in at this point, is the National School Lunch Program. That we did an RFP, a request for proposal, for a commercial vendor. We got 2 responses, and tonight we are going to award Misters the contract. Misters is also the company that services Warren, and they are very happy with them, so I am happy with the response. The other response was also from a good vendor, but we did evaluate them, and Misters is the better choice for our district. So we are going to approve that tonight. We did also look at all the equipment that would be necessary in order to go through with this program. So it looks like each school will need warming equipment, a commercial refrigerator, serving trays, a utility sink, as well as carts to push the food on. We did order all of that. We ordered it. It's about $50,000 worth of equipment. So I went out for a lease through Hunterdon Co-op, through Hunterdon ESC. They put out a request for proposal for us and got us a lease that is a 5-year lease. The first payment won't be due until July of next year. It's at 5.4%. That was the only response to the request for quote, but it was a good one because 5.4 is a good rate for us. So that's very nice because we'll be paying the equipment off over 5 years to own it. So that is also on tonight's agenda. We did have a talk at the meeting about the next step. We do need a food service director, and that person is required to have 12 hours of training annually. So our facilities manager was asked if he could take that position on as well. Frank, when he was here, did feel that that was possible, and he agreed. So at the next board meeting, you'll be approving one of his first trainings on August 7th. We got to send him for 4 hours. But he will become our food service director. We also need certifiers, so myself and Dom in the board office become a certifier of the program. We're the ones who are going to certify the applications and also certify the amount of money being requested that every month. That also has required training, so Dom and I will be out on Wednesday because we'll be down someplace in Bordentown, getting training for that. And then we are currently reviewing with the principals. We're going to need one person in each school to manage the program. So we sat down with the principals, we talked about when lunch is, we talked with the food service company that we're hiring. We also talked with Warren to find out what they suggest and what works best for them. And so we are currently talking about the job descriptions and the amount of time that we'll need. So you'll probably find that also on the August board agenda so that we can hire people. So that's where we are with the food service program. Are there any questions just about the food service program? Sure.
Yeah. What is this going to look like for parents and students, having a food service program? Is it online?
Right. So the next step, I actually have a Google Meet set up with a company that services Warren to collect the money, to put the menus online. They actually put their website up on our website, and everything is done through them. That Warren has worked with them. The reason I really like them is because Warren has gone with them and designed all the reports needed for us to request reimbursement, which is a sizable thing that we're taking on in the business office. But they have designed the reports to meet what we actually have to report monthly.
And does this, whoever provides,
Mhm.
as far as, is this something parents go online in advance?
Yes.
And they
They're gonna be
order?
they're gonna be able to order up to a month's worth of lunches. They'll see the monthly menu, and you're gonna be able to order the whole month in
And if-
one shot.
And if they don't do it in time, it's kind of like how it was with the food days, where
Mhm.
if you miss that month, you kind of are out of luck.
I don't know yet. Let me do the Google Meet with them first. What
Perfect.
I've done right now is just arrange the Google Meet. We've talked about how well it works for Warren, but they're going to actually talk with me on, I believe, Thursday, and show me the whole program layout, how they can do it, what it's going to look at. We have to make sure that our menus are in several languages. We want to make sure that we get a choice on the menu. So a lot going on. I also was speaking with the PTO today via email, letting them know where we are, that food days would not be going on, that ice cream sales for right now are going to be curtailed because we can't have any program that goes against the food. If we do ice cream sales, it would have to go into our fund, not into the PTO fund. So we're talking about that too. But for right now, we just want to get a nice, strong opening to the program. Let's get our parents really happy with our base program, and then we can talk about add-ons.
And it's 5 days a week, whether you're
5 day-
Gillette, Millington?
Yes, 5 days a week, all children. Anybody can.
And it's $3.40, no matter like what the menu
No,
item
it is not $3.40.
Okay.
That is their price to us, but don't forget, that does not include, we have to purchase equipment, we have to hire personnel, we have to pay
Okay.
the other, that. So we're coming up with a different price, okay?
Do you have any projected enrollment, and is it scalable for during the year?
I believe it is. What Misters tells me is that when I put the request in with the Department of Agriculture, I figured that 20% of our kids would be in the program. Okay? And when I told him that, he went, "You're going to have a lot more than that.
yeah.
Once they see the lunch, you're going to have a lot more
Mhm.
than that." But I went with a low number to make sure that we are sustainable. That anything over that is fabulous because we have people to pay. We have, extra garbage that's going to be picked up. We have, custodians that are going to be cleaning up a little bit more. There are a whole bunch of other costs to the program. We have to make sure that it's sustainable.
Okay.
But I thought 20% was a good deal. And don't forget that now that we're in the lunch program, that we have about 64 children right now, I believe, that are part of the free and reduced lunch program, that we are paying for their lunches. It's costing us right now about $60,000 to buy those children lunches. Well, that now is going to be reimbursed by the federal government. So that is a big plus for us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's say we get 75, 80% in, come December. If people have watched it for a couple of months, I'm not
Yeah.
going to make lunch anymore.
Uh-huh.
Go get the hot lunch.
Yeah, it'd be
Um,
nice.
But we can do that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Facilities will
Oh,
be set for that? and all?
They are more than willing, yes, if we have 100% participation, they are willing to provide us 100% lunches.
Sweet, thank you
That.
very
And I
much.
actually went over to Warren and I spent a good half a day there, and went to all their different cafeterias. I sat down with the secretary who does the reports. I actually tasted the chicken. I saw the waffle. That, it was all good. That they also give us one extra lunch per school, just in case there's somebody who, did not. Mhm.
Question, is there like a website that we can go to, because I'm sure parents are gonna hear that we have this program
Mhm.
coming and they're gonna wanna take a look. Is
We're,
there-
you know what, give us a little time, I'm trying to do just like one
Baby
step ahead,
steps,
one step
yeah.
ahead. We want to make something really friendly for parents. I want it out there that the food, that it's there, that it's easy to use. I want to make sure that the people that we hired are very well trained so that if anybody's having problems, they have somebody to talk to in the school. We want to make sure that the kids are aware of what's there. We want it, pretty color-coded. I want to make sure the kids are happy with the lunches. They also have, as part of the program that they will meet with as often as we like, principals, groups of students. Let's sit down. What do you like? What do you not like? How can we change the menu? We have to follow the parameters of the school lunch program, but there are a whole bunch of things that can be done to meet our kids' appetites, We can also tie it into, I've seen it tied into some sustainable New Jersey things, where you can do some different types of ethnic, right, at meals occasionally, which will be really fun for our kids. Like, we can do a lot of really different things if we get creative. But the first thing is, let's get a basic program that works really well for our kids.
Yeah.
Were there any additional charges for dietary restrictions?
No.
Or is that?
No, just part of the program. Mhm.
I was going to say, is there any steps that need to be taken for the 64 students that currently get the?
We're going to make sure that those 64 students
Before
get
September.
registered. They may
Yeah.
have, there may be other things that they don't have technology available, or
Right.
there might be a language barrier. It's 64 children. We have 855
Yeah.
children. Let's get everybody up, and we're going to watch out over those 64 kids and make sure that they get a lunch.
Awesome.
Interesting that you
Awesome.
mentioned such a thing, because a new policy is coming out at our next meeting as to the notification of the parents and stuff, and that's, we never needed this policy because we never had a school meals program. And there was a recent update to it that happened in the last month, and you'll see it on our next agenda.
Thank you.
Great. Anything else about the lunch program?
And you're going to hear more about it. This
You're going to
isn't
hear,
the end of
yes,
it, okay?
this is just the, like I said, the basic step that we
Very
now
exciting.
have a commercial vendor.
Yeah.
So now we're just moving on step by step, and we're just going to keep making, like I said, step forward, and it's going to be good by September. Okay?
Thank you for all your hard work with this.
Yeah.
You pulled
Yes.
this together
Very
very
Yeah.
quickly on top.
Still going, but
In the midst of the budget season and with everything going on, so.
This is a legacy item, Robin. So many parents are going to be thankful to you.
I hope so. I
squealed
hope so. I think they're
in a
going to like
finance
it.
committee meeting when I
Yeah.
heard that this was an option. So.
Yeah.
George, your legacy too. It's really, yeah,
School lunch.
it's
I
huge.
do remember Melissa's reaction in that finance.
I'm
It's
sure.
real. I was very excited about this.
Okay, so moving on to some agenda items. You'll see I'm asking for approval to pay the interest on our bonds of $74,400. That's just the interest. We do have a principal and interest payment due in January, and the bond will be matured in 2029. There are parental transportation contracts on the agenda. We have 2 regular school year contracts and 1 ESY contract. It's nice, it's down from 6 in the previous year, so that's a nice thing. Petty cash is being approved. That's just an annual resolution. That's for some money that we keep in the offices. We are changing our school physician. So you see an amended resolution. We have a new physician that has come highly recommended. George has worked with him before. Other districts have recommended him. And he is about half the cost. So that's pretty nice. We are approving, once again, the vendors over $44,000. The 2 that I want to mention for the 24-25, we have Fleetwood Furniture. That, again, these are vendors. Everything has been done properly. We just are required to tell you that they are over my bid limit. And so Fleetwood Furniture is for the Millington Library furniture, and SHI, is for new desktop computers. They were all budgeted, nothing out of the ordinary there. We do have resolutions on to accept the IDEA funding for 24-25. We have $225,568 being awarded for basic. That's an increase of $992 over 23-24, and $12,054 for pre-K, a decrease of $216 over 23-24. There's also ESSA funding. That's your titled funding. Title I is for $27,402. That's an increase of $970. Title II is $11,270, a decrease of $1,329. Title III, $6,416, a decrease of $1,118, and Title IV has no change. Title III, if you recall, is under 10,000. Under 10,000, we are not able to administer ourselves. We have to join a consortium. So I emailed Denville today. Denville has just started a new consortium. I'm happy with that one because the business administrator has been there for a number of years, so I think she knows how to do it. So I've asked to join that consortium. We also have on there an approval for Town Kids. We've used them in the past. When I was at conference back in June, I did stop and ask Jim Shoup, who is the kind of the guru for New Jersey on purchasing, on how do we approve something that is so large. It is $115,000, and I didn't think that we were approving it correctly. So he sent me the resolution as well as the instruction on what we have to do for a medically fragile student who requires a specific nurse. So we can't go out to bid on it. We can't ask for an RFP on it. It has to be this nurse for the child to go to school. And so this is what we're following in this resolution. And then lastly, as Mark has Mr. Alexis stated, we have Mark Persina on the agenda to be a consultant to Buildings and Grounds to help aid in the transition and to oversee our projects until our new facility manager can be there. It's up to $6,600. That's because after that amount, we need 2 quotes. So we're just taking them up to that amount. Mark feels that that's enough. It should get us about 4 weeks of kind of partial service just to keep us on track. That. The only other thing I was going to mention, because I thought all this would be under finance, that I just wanted to let you know a little bit about the business office. If I can find my notes, hold on a second. Here. So the business office in the summertime is very busy, and it's probably our busiest time in the year. I wasn't sure that anybody on the board knew that, so I just kind of wanted to make mention of that it really is a crazy time in the business office. If you remember last year, we just hired our accounts payable, Natalia, who is fabulous at her job. She's doing wonderfully, but she's brand new. She had never done accounts payable before. That Dom also is new to us, Dom Atia. Again, fabulous, bright guy. Has done a ton of payroll, but has never been an assistant BA before. So with this really busy time of year, we are now working on closing out the year. So both of them are now learning how to close the year. They've never done that before. That we're working on fixed asset reporting, so that requires us to pull a ton of POs to hire a company to see that everything gets tagged. We're going through that. The auditors have started to ask us for information, so we've already sent all our ASSA data, which has to do with the number of students that you have, has to do with your DRTRS data we've sent them. We're starting to send them purchase orders that they're asking for, so all of that is starting up. I'm trying to get the auditors in sometime in September. We also have IDEA. The grant has to be done this month. That it requires a lot of financials. That the ESSA grant also requires a ton of financials. That is also due at the end of the month. So what I want to let you all know is that we have like 3.5 positions in the office, 2 of which are brand new to all of this. The thing that really works in our office is the spirit of teamwork. Everybody there is so team-oriented. We focus on learning and learning together, not making mistakes, and really getting down to understanding what all this data is, how you pull it, how you do it correctly. Because number one is they both are new at all this, and you only do it once a year. So it's not like you get repeat to learn and learn that. So I just wanted everybody to recognize what a great job these 2 people are doing, that Adele is doing such a great job in helping to train everybody, and that we really are working to make this one cohesive team that does a fabulous job for all of you and for our students and community all the time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you to your team for sure. And I appreciate the point you make that you only get one time a year to go through these things, so we
Yep.
definitely appreciate that. Any other questions for Robin? Okay, the only other 2 things I want to add before we go into the next item is we haven't had a meeting since we presented to the Township Committee our budget on June 12th. So I just want to thank Mr. Alexis, Ms. Bomer for doing that presentation, and thank you for several of the board members who attended. I think that went really well. And then the second thing I was going to mention is July 29th. Is when the nominating petitions are due to the county clerk for school board elections for candidates. So if you were interested, please take a look at the NJSBA website. It gives you all the information about becoming a school board member. Okay, after that, comments from the public on agenda items? Nope. Okay. Resolutions. Crystal, can you move in minutes number 1?
So moved.
Second, anyone?
Second.
Danielle? Any questions?
No.
Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Butler? Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Ms. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Ruvalo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Danielle, will you move in financials numbers 2 through 24?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Ms. Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Rublo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Tom, will you move in special services numbers 25 through 29?
Gladly so moved.
Second?
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Rublo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Justin, will you move in personnel numbers 30 through 43?
So moved.
Second?
Any questions?
I just want to acknowledge what a great job Frank Murgatroyd did as our facilities manager and wish him the best in his new role.
Yes, thank you. Okay, roll call?
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Ms. Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Rublo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Melissa, will you move in curriculum number 44?
So moved?
Second?
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Rublo?
Yes.
And Mrs. Case?
Yes. And then Katie, will you move in policy number 45 to 46 and other number 47?
So moved?
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Ms. Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Mrs. Rublo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Okay. Any items for discussion from the board? Any unfinished business? Any new business? Okay. Any comments from the public? No? Okay. I want to thank the board for the retreat and the goal-setting session. I know this seems like a quick meeting, but we did start at 5:30. So thank you all for your time and your focus and your comments. Our next meeting is August 5th, so I hope everyone is going to have a good summer, and we'll get back together in August. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Abstentions? Okay. Thank you.